Presented by Listen Headlines, latest world news from trusted sources. Updating daily at 6 a.m. New York. New York Times World News.
December 10, 5:20 America, New York. Jimmy Lai of Hong Kong gets 5-year sentence. Jimmy Lai, the outspoken owner of a pro-democracy newspaper, was sentenced to more than 5 years in prison for violating terms of a lease contract. Jimmy Lai, Center, leaving the Hong Kong's Court of Final Appeal in Hong Kong last year.
New York Times World News.
December 10, 5:15 America, New York. Brittney Griner swap puts spotlight on Americans in Russia. Westerners in Russia have to weigh the risks of living and working in the country against professional and financial opportunities there. Brittney Griner on her arrival in San Antonio on Friday.
Washington Post World.
December 10, 5:06 America, New York. Explainer. What's at stake in Turkey's new Syria escalation? Kurdish forces and international players, after weeks of deadly Turkish airstrikes in northern Syria, are trying to gauge whether Ankara's threats of a ground invasion are serious.
Mirror World News. December 10, 5:02 America, New York. China faces wildfire, COVID outbreak as world's strictest lockdown policy ends. Xi Jinping has admitted defeat and rolled back a number of punitive measures that made up his zero-COVID policy, which sparked nationwide protests demanding his resignation last month.
BBC News World. December 10, 4:53 America, New York. Madhya Pradesh. India boy, 8, dies after being trapped in well. An 8-year-old boy dies after being stuck inside a 400 ft deep borewell in India's Madhya Pradesh state.
Wall Street Journal World News.
December 10, 4:35 America, New York. Japan clamps down on Moon Church's fundraising. Parliament is banning high-pressure tactics cited by the suspect in the assassination of former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe.
Mirror World News.
December 10, 4:21 America, New York. Putin warns any country threatening Russia will be wiped off face of the earth. Russian President Vladimir Putin said the Kremlin could adopt a similar policy to the U.S. preemptive strategy, which could lay any country to waste within 60 minutes.
BBC News World.
December 10, 3:35 America, New York. I have no business with fraud, Nigerian star D'banj. The Afrobeat star maintains his innocence after his arrest on allegations of fraud by authorities.
World News. Breaking international news and headlines. Sky News.
December 10, 3:23 America, New York. Celebrity chef a suspect in German far-right coup plot, according to reports. A celebrity chef is among those arrested over an alleged plot by a far-right terrorist group to overthrow the German government, local press has reported. Police secures the area after 25 suspected members and supporters of a far-right group were detained during raids across Germany.
World News. Breaking international news and headlines. Sky News.
December 10, 2:23 America, New York. Hong Kong tycoon Jimmy Lai jailed for more than 5 years on fraud charge. Pro-democracy Hong Kong tycoon Jimmy Lai has been charged with fraud and sentenced to 5 years and 9 months in prison. Jimmy Lai.
Mirror World News.
December 10, 2:05 America, New York. Bungalow on quiet English Street that became secret spy outpost for the Russians. To many, Cranley Drive in Mroue Islip, West London, was a regular quiet residential street, but little did the neighbors know what was going on behind the doors of number 45.
Washington Post World.
December 10, 2 o'clock America, New York. U.S. troops are back in Somalia and scrambling to help its special forces. After Trump's pullout, al-Shabaab militants grew in strength and size.
New York Times World News.
December 10, 1:43 America, New York. China's looming tsunami of COVID cases will test its hospitals. To conserve resources for the severely ill, the government is urging residents not to seek help unless necessary. But the pivot has left many confused and anxious. Medical workers preparing equipment outside a fever clinic at a hospital in Beijing on Friday.
BBC News World.
December 10, 1:33 America, New York. World Cup 2022. Veteran U.S. sports journalist Grant Wahl dies in Qatar. Grant Wahl, 48, collapses suddenly while watching the Argentina-Netherlands game.
The Washington Times Stories. Advocacy.
December 9, 22:15 America, New York. Kari Lake formally challenges defeat in Arizona governor's race. Kari Lake, the Republican defeated in Arizona governor's race, is formally challenging her loss to Democrat Katie Hobbs, asking a court to throw out certified election results from the state's most populous county and either declare her the winner or rerun the governor's election in that county.
The Washington Times stories. Advocacy.
December 9, 21:59 America, New York. Musk sheds light on Trump's ouster in latest Twitter files drop. Elon Musk on Friday disclosed further details of the FBI's work with Twitter employees to moderate content in the lead up to the 2020 presidential election as part of an extended three-part segment of the ongoing Twitter files, diving into former President Donald Trump's ouster from the platform.